have words. Let's have words. Say what it's all about. We're gonna say what it's about. We're gonna talk it out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Let's Have Words. I am your host, Lara Samuels, coming to you on WWHR Internet Media, and we come to you live every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Let's Have Words. If you're wondering what this show is about, if you've never stopped by before, Let's Have Words is basically a talk show. So on the show, we're really just celebrating conversation, discussion, and we generally like to have a guest on the show where I sit down and interview somebody, and then we like people to call in, chat in, and participate in the conversation when we have a guest. But today we don't have a guest, unfortunately, and so, fortunately, I should say, you, the audience, you are the guest today again on Let's Have Words. So, what's going to happen is pretty soon I'm going to introduce a topic, and then at some point in the near future I will open up the phones, open up the chat, and you can call in and chat in with your comments and questions related to the topic. So just so you know, if you want to put your questions and comments in chat, that's great. We'll work them into the conversation. But if you'd like to call in, really what calling in entails is you actually coming on the broadcast with your video and jumping into the room, and we have a conversation. And by the way, if there's somebody in the room already, you can still come on. We can handle several people in a discussion at the same time. So please don't hesitate to come on the show and talk to us that way, face to face. So that's how Let's Have Words works. You're never sure what kind of topic you're going to get on Let's Have Words. So we cover all kinds of topics. We cover politics. We cover, philosophy. A couple weeks ago, hey, Ronnie, a couple weeks ago, we talked with John Cameron, friend of the show. We talked to him about birding and all about birds. That was a fun show. And then, one time we talked about Satan. That was great. Another time we talked about PFAS, forever chemicals in the water supply in Merrimack, New Hampshire, as well as other places. And you never know what you're going to get on Let's Have Words. So this week, I'm excited to say that our topic is not Christmas. Although that could have been what you thought I was going to say based on what's behind my head. But it's related to Christmas in the sense that at Christmas time, the tradition is, of course, to give gifts. And that is what we're talking about today. More generally is all of the aspects of gift giving. So there's a lot to be said when it comes to giving gifts, receiving gifts. Why do we give gifts? Is giving gifts a positive experience for most people? For some people, it's not so much a positive experience. Is it what kinds of gifts do people like to give and like to get? Are there any experiences that you want to share? Gift giving stories of either harrowing stories of gift giving or pleasant stories of gift giving. What's the best gift you've ever received? What's the best gift you've ever given? That kind of stuff. Whatever you want to talk about, it doesn't matter. We're open. We'll take the discussion whichever path, whichever way it goes. We're perfectly happy doing that, as long as it remains, hovering around the topic of interest, which is gift giving. So before we open the phones, open the chat, I just want to give you my position on gift giving, which is basically stems from, I believe it stems from a terrible experience with gift giving I had when I was relatively young. I think I was like second grade, third grade, something like that. And I had a best friend, and we were best friends throughout elementary school. And we didn't really have any other friends. It was really just the two of us. But around her birthday, suddenly all these people started pretending to be her friends so that they could get invited to her party. So that's what her party was going to be composed of. Her actual friend, me, and then a bunch of fake friends. And so I had true, genuine feelings. It was a genuine friendship I had with this person. And I went and bought her a gift. And the gift that I bought her, and for those of you that are maybe in my age bracket, you might remember, somewhere around the late 70s, these little koala bear clip-on things were very popular among young people. And I bought her one of those. And I was very proud of my gift. I thought it was awesome. I picked it out myself and everything, whatever. And I wrapped it and took it to the party. And when I got to the party, to my horror, all these fake friends had purchased much larger gifts, judging from the boxes. But worse than that, at least 3 of them had one of these little koala bear clips that I had bought for my friend as her present, clipped to the top as a mere decoration of the gift. And so in a second grade, third grader's mind, that's kind of devastating, embarrassing. I was incredibly embarrassed. And my friend was very good about it. I don't remember exactly what she said, but something along the lines of, that yours is the only gift that truly matters to me because you actually care about me. And it doesn't matter, She said something very adult, very mature, as I recall. But it didn't matter. Obviously, it scarred me for life and set me down a road of a pathway of gift giving in general being an anxiety-provoking experience for me. And it still is to this day. I don't like giving gifts. I don't like receiving gifts. Some people are really good at giving gifts. Some people are good at giving gifts and receiving. Some are only good at one or the other. And some of us suck at both, and that would be me. So that's my little story. I'm just remembering it. I'm having these feelings. I'm experiencing those same feelings of embarrassment and humiliation I felt back then, just right now. Excuse me for a minute. I'm feeling the same way. It was a pretty devastating experience for me. Scarred me for life. So, what about you? You have any stories like that? What do you think about gift giving? It's definitely I would say it's an important ritual. I mean, I definitely appreciate the pros of gift giving, the pro-social behavior, solidifying ties, establishing, social connections and that sort of stuff. I think, obviously, I think I do appreciate the concept of gift giving, but when it actually comes down to giving and receiving in my own life, I have a really hard time with it. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on gift giving? So that's it. I just wanted to tell you my little story and disclose to you that I am a terrible gift giver, terrible gift receiver. And we're going to open the phones right away. And here's some thought-provoking questions for you. What's the best, worst gift you've ever received? Or what's the best, worst gift you've ever given? What do you think? So usually the gifts that I give are, I try very hard to make my gifts if I can. But a lot of times I don't have time to do that. But that's my preferred thing to do, is to make gifts. And I like receiving homemade gifts, actually. And but if I can't do that, which is most of the time, then not treats. Yeah, no cookies, please. But yeah, so most of the time I like to make my gifts. But if I can't do that, if I don't have time to do that, my very favorite thing to do, I'm sorry to say, and I know it seems cold and impersonal, but the gift card has saved my life. It really has. I mean, I really wish it was made out of biodegradable material. That would be better. But just the whole notion of giving a gift card, it seems somehow better than just giving money, straight up money, and it takes all the anxiety and pressure off of finding a gift. It's really, I think it's a wonderful thing. I love the gift card. Thank you, gift cards. You've saved my gift giving reputation forever. So what do you think about gift cards? You like gift cards? Do you like getting gift cards? Do you give gift cards? Do you think that they're impersonal? You think it's a cop-out to give a gift card to somebody? Why do we give gifts? What do you think the reasons are? Sometimes, there are bad reasons. Definitely some bad reasons why people give gifts. Some people I think are just genuinely, generous. They really like. Some people actually like giving gifts. I know this. I've seen these people. They do walk the earth among us. Maybe that's you. Maybe you can come on the show and tell us all about your gift giving chops. Are you a good gift giver? What makes you a good gift giver? Are you somebody who has a formula that works? And what is that formula? Tell the rest of us. Let us know. Until you do, I'm just going to give gift cards forever. So that's it. The other thing I like to do is give all the money I was going to spend on gifts to charity. That's another way I sort of defer the pain and anxiety of gift giving. That's a good method. So, all right. So I'm just going to talk unless somebody comes on and hangs out with me or says something in the chat. Oh, look at that! It's like he fell from heaven. He's a gift. Speaking of gifts,
The monster.
it's Conrad. Conrad, what's up? How are you?
Well,
For those of you that I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. For those of you that are new to the show, this is Conrad. He's a frequent guest, not frequent caller on the show. Contributor to the show. Thank you. So we're having an open discussion on gifts, Conrad. What are your thoughts? Any thoughts? I'll ask you an open-ended question.
well, like on everything, I have many by now.
All right, just give us one.
One? No.
Just one thought.
The whole 15.
All right, we'll try to cover as much territory as possible, but let's handle them one at a time.
Well, gifts, like anything, is good, and they are good and bad.
Good and bad.
There are times they are good, and it depends on things. And there's plenty of times that I bet, for example, we stopped giving gifts. Okay, I'll give you one example.
Okay, good.
When you're much richer than the other person,
Yes.
then it's appropriate to give a gift, like a serious gift, not just a toy, not just a symbolic, but, I don't mean to buy a car or a house, but
I don't know, if somebody who was much richer than me gave me an expensive gift, that would make me feel like I needed to get them an expensive gift. It would actually make me feel awful.
well, no, so this is why I disagree with you. When you are close in wealth, that's how you feel. You need to revenge. But if somebody is 10,000 times richer than you, well, you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if somebody gives me a gift, I'm going to feel like I have to reciprocate.
Well, and that's the bad part about gifts. That giving gifts causes people to feel guilty about, I didn't give them a gift. That's the problem with gifts. So I'll give you an example when they were good. When we lived in U.S. and then we had family in communism in Poland, we would send them packages with stuff. We knew that were impossible to get over there.
I see, yeah.
And they were super grateful.
Right.
For
Right,
us,
that makes sense. Right. In that context, it definitely makes sense. Right.
Then for us, it was cheap, $20, and for them, it was worth $500, whatever. It was
Right.
it was unattainable, essentially. They would have to, there's nowhere to get, you know what I mean? And we would send only certain things because we knew what to do, you know what I mean?
Right.
We wouldn't send them bread. They had bread better than ours. But
Is that really a gift? Was that a gift? Or was it just a reality of existence? You know what I mean? Like, can that actually be classified as a gift?
Pick your devil, I guess.
I mean, when you're sending home stuff, in that context, it seems to me like it's something else. It's a gift but it has more of a practical purpose. It's not, it's
Correct.
not quite the same thing
Okay.
as when you just give somebody like a frivolous gift for a holiday or,
Correct. I agree. I
yeah.
agree.
So it has a little different, I think, but
Yeah. So to me, the frivolous gifts are, so this is when they are okay to it. And then I don't like, there's a
Yeah.
point where I don't like it because that's the revenge, like, meaning, not revenge, sorry, bad words. Repayment,
yeah, like you have to reciprocate. Yeah,
reciprocate.
right. You feel like there's a reciprocity. There's an unspoken reciprocity, even if people don't really think about it.
Right.
Even
So-
if they don't intend, they're giving a gift just because they want to give you a gift, and they're not thinking, oh, I can't wait to see what they're going to give me back. And they, it's not conscious, but
So the only time I think it's actually okay when it's spontaneous in the sense
spontaneous.
that
Yeah.
when it's something unusual, you first meet somebody and then it's like a hug. If you hug
Yeah.
somebody once, it's great. You do this all the time. You see the person, it gets like, what's wrong with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a hug or something. Hey,
Giving the wrong gift can ruin a relationship, and it can be very detrimental to people. So I have a good example. My dad gave. So I have one sister. I have an older sister. It's just the two of us. And for a holiday one year, I forget if it was Christmas or whatever, he gave each of us received a book. And my sister received a book on like the history of art. And it was like this beautiful book with like, that was like highly, it was highly intellectual, right? And then I got a comic book. He gave me a comic book. And to me, at the time, I was maybe 12 or something, I don't know.
Okay, but you were a girl.
At the time, that to me, he didn't mean it. I know he didn't. Oh, where are you going, Conrad? Okay, just walking away. Well, I'm just talking to the audience. So I didn't know what to, I don't think he meant anything at all by it. But for me, that sent a clear message that my sister was brilliant and I was an idiot. That's the message that I got from that. And it actually set up that dynamic in our family. And it was like this gift. It was a gift.
Okay, I'll give you a more mature explanation.
Oh.
She was older than you, so she got a more serious gift, and you were a little girl, so you got more of a toy.
She's 2 years older than me.
Well,
She was like 14 and I was 12.
That's a huge difference in those years. But she's 12 and 14 is high school. 14 is high school.
Well, you're right. I mean, I think that's what my dad was thinking.
Exactly.
But that's not how I took it. That's what I'm saying.
You took it in a childish way.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's what I mean. People send messages with their gifts. I was reading this article about this woman whose she wrote how her mom would buy her clothes when she was a kid, and they were clothes that she didn't like, and her mom knew she didn't like them. And basically she was sending the message, I don't like the way you dress.
Right.
And this is how you should dress.
Well,
And it
that's
was clear that she wasn't giving these gifts for any other reason other than to force her own values on her daughter. And it wrecked their relationship,
And tried to change her.
She tried to change her. And the gift came with a message, and and it can be very harmful, People can give gifts for good reasons, I think, and they can give them for not so more nefarious purposes, like
more selfish reasons.
For selfish, or to control somebody, or to manipulate, But sometimes I think gifts are genuinely, just a form of, saying, showing your appreciation for somebody or whatever. But I'm not a big gift person. I don't like getting gifts. I would rather somebody either, I would just rather people were nice to me all the time. Oh, there's Lois. Hey, Lois. Do you think some people sometimes try to define us with their gifts? Oh. Well, Lois, why don't you come on the show and tell us that story? I don't know. I think so. I think they try to force their values or their impression on how we should be with their
Yes,
gifts. Yes, I
sometimes.
think there's a lot of that going on.
Sometimes, I think,
Or
sometimes.
people feel guilty. Sometimes it's a guilt. People give gifts because they feel bad for something. You know, they've treated you badly and they think the gift is going to make up for it. I don't know. It's very interesting. I think there's a lot of psychology there sometimes, you know?
Well, there is, sure.
Yeah,
No, just like any human interaction.
sure.
There is the way you talk, you raise your voice, this is just another form of expression.
It's another form of expression. Well, but it's not supposed to be, right? A gift, the gift is supposed to simply be a token of appreciation and love, or as more in a more sort of like, I guess if you want to look at it as sort of in a social science kind of way, it's a way of holding society together, right? To solidify connections with people, and to, you know,
The only time it was normal for me to give gifts was for Christmas. As a kid, as a little kid. That
yeah,
was the time it was normal. After that, you know, it became less and less. And then you realize then that if somebody gives you a gift, you owe him a gift. Oh, I didn't do this, I'm a bad person. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
if I didn't like getting gifts, I assumed other people felt the same way. And so as we got older, we stopped giving each other gifts,
yeah.
even sending Christmas
I don't
cards.
know that older people give gifts all the time. Still, I
Depends.
get a lot of gifts from like people at work, and I mean, not anything spectacular, but they still give me the little things.
Well, maybe they want to keep in
Stuff.
touch. Maybe they want to keep in touch, or
Yeah,
they want you to remember. You know what I mean? Maybe
yeah,
well, it's a little different too when you at work. Because there is a relationship of sorts. You know what I
yeah,
mean? There is a little bit of. I hate to use the word business, but there is a little bit of.
sure. Well, yeah, you want to, like, it's once again, it's just affirming, it's just sort of solidifying those connections. Yeah, and that's important in a work environment because you're working together. You're working as a team. You have to kind of, little tokens of appreciation are nice, I guess. People, you're appreciated. So the worst gift I ever got, somebody gave me a bug zapper. Do you know what a bug zapper is, Conrad?
I assume it's something that kills bugs
Yeah, they're
electrically.
like the little with electricity.
Yeah.
So the bugs fly, insects, I should say. It's inappropriate for somebody like me who studied entomology to call them bugs. Anyway, they fly into them and they're instantly vaporized. Zzz, zzz. Okay, so well, this is the thing though. Okay, so bug zappers have been a major pet peeve of mine like since I was a kid. I mean, I was like, when I was a kid, I would go into swimming pools and rescue flies. I loved insects. I still love them to this day. And unless they're actually trying to suck my blood or they're reaching like some weird infestation level, I really don't. I love insects and I leave them alone, and and other arthropods, and I leave them alone, for the most part, unless they're actively attacking me. But a bug zapper is so. If at first they would just make me sick because like listening to all these poor animals dying like that was just disgusting to me. But then later I learned too that you're mostly killing with those things. You're mostly killing beneficial insects. Like for example, you're killing lacewings, which eat mosquitoes. So you're killing more lacewings, which would actually eat your mosquitoes, than you are mosquitoes. So you're actually not achieving anything anyway, and you're killing moths and all kinds of beneficial and harmless things, and it's really just a terrible thing. And I've always thought it was terrible. I might have even made it my life's work to have bug zappers permanently banned, and somebody gave me one as a gift. Now that's not a good gift, right? And then it makes you wonder, like what is the purpose? Somebody was just buying a gift for the sake of buying a gift, but they weren't really considering me at all in that situation. you know. That's the worst gift I ever got. What was it? Do you have a gift story, Conrad?
I'm thinking, but I can't remember.
You can't remember?
No.
What kinds of gifts do you like? Worst gift for Kim might be anything flat. Yes, I don't like anything. Right. Thank you, Lois. You know. So I think gifts. I think this is what I think. I'm going to say something completely hokey. Conrad, block your ears. I think every day is a gift. I think life is a gift, and I think every day is a holiday. And you know, we can give gifts to each other any old time, and that's fine. But I really do think that you should consider the other person's values when you give them something.
Well, but
know.
that's why giving gifts is difficult. It's easy for
It
children.
is. It's wicked hard. That's why I like giving gift cards.
It's easy for
Takes all the
to-
pressure off.
It's easy to give a gift to a 4-year-old, 6-year-old relative. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
used to get little toy cars, or
Right.
I got a gun, cowboy belt and a gun.
Yeah, a gun. That's an appropriate gift for a child.
Absolutely. Not a real gun.
I know. I'm just teasing you.
But it was a good size. It was regular size.
Yeah. Realistic.
Right.
That's
so I got-
also an appropriate gift for a child. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's easier to buy for kids because kids are happy with virtually anything.
well, certain types of toys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, toys are easy, right? They'll be happy with any kind of toy.
Somebody bought me a doll,
Yeah.
I would rent it. When I was 4 years old, I would get a bear.
Somebody should have bought you a doll when you were a kid.
I got a bear or something like that, but not a doll. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I think somebody should have bought you one. That's what I'm saying.
That would be inappropriate.
No, I don't think so. Why is it? Oh, we're not going there. I don't want to know why you think it's inappropriate. But definitely, what kinds of gifts? What kinds of gifts do you like to get? Like, if I were to buy you a gift, Conrad, what would I consider? What should I consider if I were to get you a
Nothing.
gift?
Nothing comes to mind. I hate to say it.
Food?
Mercedes Benz would be good.
Would you rather get
Made
would
shoes.
you rather get a practical gift, do you think, or just like a frivolous gift? Something that you normally wouldn't buy for yourself, or would you rather get like a practical gift, something that you could actually use?
Well, practical, and that's the problem. Nobody knows what I need, what I want.
Well, that's the thing. You know what I was reading about? I was reading that it's kind of taboo in our society to ask people what they want, but that actually it's a good idea to do that. Like Miss Manners tells us that it's a good idea to actually ask people, what do you want? So,
I agree because
yeah, just ask
know,
people,
there is a time when you're young, when you first rent an apartment, you first rent a house, you can use all kinds of little things, a picture on a wall or this or that. But after a while, you have pictures sitting in the closet. You know what I mean? You have too much of everything.
you have
and
too
that-
much.
And how many house adornments can you use? 10, 20, but there's a point where there's no room for it's clutter.
Exactly. You get things. I do a lot of regifting, which I think is a wonderful concept. Do you know what regifting is? It's just when you take a gift that somebody gave you and give it to somebody else.
Yeah, I
So
know.
you just kind of pass it around.
Yeah, to me that's inappropriate because you can get caught.
No, not if you're careful.
The person.
Hey, I'll give you a good example. I won a basket once. It was like $800 to $1,000 worth of crap in this basket that I won in this raffle. Oh my God. I gave every single thing away in that basket. It provided me with gifts for people for like 2 years. It was awesome.
That's different. It's not.
See, nobody
re-giving.
was going to catch me. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not re-giving what somebody else gave. You know what I mean?
Well, you're just careful about it. You don't re-gift among your circle of friends. You take a gift that somebody gave you and you give it to somebody at work. Like you give it to
No.
you have different circles of people.
But I
You
was
got to be careful, obviously. But
trying to be funny, make it.
I know you are. But you're right. You're right. You do have to be careful. You don't want to get caught. Yeah.
And now it becomes like conspiracy. It's like, oh,
Right.
evil.
Well, you'd hurt somebody's feelings. You would hurt their feelings.
To me, if I get a gift, but in principle, I don't want to re-gift it because it's wrong. It seems wrong to me.
Yeah.
It seems inappropriate.
Yeah. So you think regifting in general just is wrong?
Right. Not like you want a basket of
Damn.
1,000 things. I'm just talking about a personal gift from somebody. Throw it away if you really hate it, but don't give it away. Don't get regifted.
Yeah, but okay, if somebody gave me something that was truly like they gave it to me because because they love, out of love, then I would never regift that item. But I'm talking about a gift given out of obligation to begin with.
Yeah,
And you know the intent. You always know.
No, that's true. That makes a difference too. The context makes a difference. I agree.
Yeah.
The context does make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. If it's just formality, blah blah blah, then you get it because they have to.
Yeah.
They give it because they feel they have to. They should. Just.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's different too. But I think of gifts more as of a personal thing, not. You know what I mean? But yeah, I haven't gotten a gift, in years. I haven't given gifts in years. I stopped doing that a long time ago.
You stopped giving people gifts?
Yes, used to be only customer when I was young. If we went to visit somebody.
Yeah, right.
You're supposed to bring something with you. Food was tricky because they may like it. So the answer became obvious: bottle of booze.
Yeah. Well, you got to be careful with that. You don't want to give somebody who's like struggling with an alcohol problem a bottle of booze.
Well, we didn't have that concept in those days.
I see.
Struggling with alcohol, everybody struggled with alcohol.
Everybody struggled with alcohol. Normal.
And the more the person struggles, the more they need it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you give them an extra one.
Sure.
But it was.
I think you need to. So I find it. So when's the last time you gave somebody a present?
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh, so it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But you give people the gift of your wisdom.
Well, I would bring to hearing room certain things like the.
Oh, that's right. You were always what the hell are you talking about? You were always bringing cookies and stuff. Those were gifts.
Speak nicely.
Those were gifts. Well, it just occurred to me that why didn't that dawn on me that you used to bring us all kinds of stuff there.
So when it seemed appropriate and useful and and cool and interesting, educational, I didn't bring regular things. Only like my neighbor across the street, we had big snow a month ago or something, over 2 feet of snow. I forget, more than my snow, and they plowed us in pretty heavy. So when he did his yard across the street, his driveway and stuff, he came with his snowblower and did the front of my, not the entire driveway, but he did, good amount of it anyway. And it's, he has a bigger snowblower, stronger, much 20 years younger, you know what I mean, newer.
Yeah.
So my snowblower is, 26 years old now, so it's barely. But so after that, I felt obligated, we gotta do something. So I brought him some stuff I brought from Poland.
Yeah.
A Polish cake, it's not a fresh cake, but like a candy type stuff, and it's like, hey, this is thank you, but we felt it was money would be inappropriate.
Yeah, that doing something for somebody is a very nice gift, like doing a favor for somebody or doing something like that. And that's something that it doesn't create any waste. It's and like I said, I think reinforcing kindness and generosity all the time. So Lois was asking about donations. So I don't know if you mean like just a donation, like I think I don't remember if I said this already, but like around Christmas, I take all the money that except this last Christmas because I'm heading towards broke right now, but in the last couple decades, I've been taking what I would have spent on presents around Christmas and giving them to charities and stuff, making donations. So, and that's something that a lot of people do too now, I think. Like instead, in lieu of gifts, you donate money, somewhere. I think that's a very nice trend. Instead of wasting a bunch of money on material objects that nobody's going to want, and they're just going to end up in a landfill, and just give money to a good cause, to a cause instead. I like that. I think that's a beautiful trend. I think more and more people are doing that. Can gift giving be evil? I think it can. I know it can. Some people give gifts for very rotten reasons. Yes. Do you know people who give? I know a lot of people who, over my lifetime, I've met people who just love giving gifts. I mean, it's like their thing. You know what I mean? They're just consummate gift givers.
I can't think of
Part of their
anybody.
identity.
I can't, but I met people who are much more prone to do that, right?
Yeah, it's like part of their identity. Like gift giving is, you know.
I haven't
And
met anybody like that, at the moment. But
yeah,
yes, there were people that were right.
I don't know what that's about. I don't know whether it's like a pathology. It's bordering on a pathology sometimes. These like people who just can't stop giving gifts to people.
Well, this is, I think, general. You learn something when something gets into your head when you're young, and it stays with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know this. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's part of
So,
who you are.
and this will be for some people. It will be that. Again, 1 in 1,000. Rare, but
Yeah.
at least
All right, so Conrad and I are just sitting around shooting the breeze, and Lois is chiming in with some comments, which I really appreciate, about just about gift giving. So we're just talking about all the aspects of gift giving. Why do we give gifts? Is it, it's primarily I think Conrad and I both agree that there are good and positive and negative aspects of gift giving, and we're discussing both the positives and the negatives. And that sometimes gifts are given out of love, out of genuine appreciation for another person, and sometimes they're given for nefarious purposes,
well,
to be psychologically manipulative, etc.
just to make yourself feel good.
Make yourself feel good, not to make the other person feel good. A really good test is anytime you're going to give somebody a gift, you should ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I doing it for myself or am I doing it for them? And if it turns out you're doing it for you, then it's probably not a good thing to be doing. And the thing is too, I tell a lot of people not to buy me stuff. I don't tell everybody, but a lot of people, I'm like, if they ask me, I say, don't buy me anything. And I mean it. I mean it. And they still buy me stuff sometimes. It's like I think that this is another important lesson, is if somebody doesn't want a gift, then listen to them. I think you should respect their desire to not receive.
No, well, I agree and disagree.
Okay, well, why do you disagree?
Well, because that's a normal, I don't want anything. No, you need a lot of things, you know what I mean? You're just too proud to admit it, blah, blah, blah.
No,
So
I have everything I need. I don't want anything. If I need something, I go get it. I'm in a position that if I really need something, and I don't need a lot of crap, but if I need something, I needed a pair of shoes. I went and got a pair of shoes. But there's nothing I need. I can't think of one thing that I need right now.
I'm just saying, it's a formality. No, thank you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
But it's not.
But some people will take it that way.
I know. If
And
Allbirds Shoes would like to sponsor us. Yeah, so I just bought myself a pair of Allbirds. Actually, 2. I'm going broke, so I had to make one last, I had to buy some shoes before I become in a position where I have to wear rags on my feet. I needed to buy some actual shoes. So I bought some Allbirds, which are a very nice shoe company. They make shoes out of eucalyptus leaves and stuff. So anyway, so if Allbirds wants to sponsor us, let us know. Allbirds, if you're listening, they're doing just fine. I don't think they need to sponsor our show. You know what happened to me recently? You want to hear another good embarrassing gift moment for me? I've had multiple. I can tell all kinds of horror stories, gift giving horror stories. I'm like this. I could write a whole Stephen King style short story book on gift giving horror that I've experienced. And one of them was very recently. In fact, it was this Christmas at work. So we were doing a swap. It was like one of those, what do they call it, Yankee swaps, where everybody buys a gift and you put it on a table, and then you pick a gift, and then the next person can actually take that gift from you if they want. And it's just kind of a fun thing. Anyway, I only half pay attention to most anything that I don't deem particularly relevant to my life. So I was only half paying attention when the rules of this game were mentioned, and I was under the impression that I was supposed to buy a $5 gift, and that was it. That's all I heard. And it turned out it was a $20 gift, and that there was a theme. The theme was as seen on TV. So we were supposed to buy like gizmos that were advertised on television, and there was a $20 limit. So I went to the Greenville Junction Shoppy, which, by the way, they are one of our sponsors, Greenville Junction Shoppy in Greenville, New Hampshire, secondhand goods store. And I got a $5. It was a little snowman. He was made of shells, and he was very cute. He was $5, and it was a natural gift, biodegradable, Christmassy, right? I thought it was ideal. And then I got there, and I realized that I completely missed the mark, and I'd bought the most like inappropriate thing, given the rules. And so I went up, and when it was my turn to go up, I picked my own. I sat there dreading the fact that somebody was going to pick my gift. And then finally, when it was my turn, I went racing up there, and I grabbed the gift, my own gift, and said, I'm taking this gift because I completely didn't understand the rules, and I didn't open my email, and I'm really sorry. And I went and sat down. And then the next person slopped with me. And so then she opened the gift, and it was this little snowman, and she pretended to like it. And I just felt like crap.
So why
And went home thoroughly embarrassed. It was a horrible day.
so why was it inappropriate?
Because it was supposed to be a $20 gift, and it was supposed to be as seen on TV. It wasn't I bought some little like shell snowman for $5. It was very embarrassing.
So this is an American gift describe. I can describe you.
Yes, it is. We're going to address that right after Conrad speaks. It is an art form. Go ahead, Conrad, go ahead.
I could describe you a game we had to play with gift. I forget what was the occasion. It's some holiday in Europe. It's not here.
Yeah.
So this was in a classroom, I think, because this was not outside. So there was 30 kids or whatever, and the teacher would write everybody's name on the little pieces of paper, put it in the bag, and you would draw one name. If it's your name, you put it back. You try again.
Right.
Obviously, you're not going to buy yourself, and you pick somebody's name who you're supposed to buy a gift for.
Yeah.
So then you go and buy the gift, put it in the bag. Nobody knows what it is because it's closed. You throw it in a box or whatever, and then they search through this. The teacher opens it up and says, "Oh, this is," and there's the piece of paper with the name is in there.
Yeah.
And, "Oh, this is gift." So it's anonymous gifting essentially.
That's very nice. I like that. I love anonymous stuff. Yeah.
Comes
Nice.
from, and so it's what I mean.
Yes.
So that's I forget the name of the holiday or whatever it was of the occasion now because I never heard of it in U.S. So, but
Well,
anyway,
they do things like, we do things, we have traditions like the Secret Santa thing that they do at work so that, that's to prevent, actually, I think it's really a good way of preventing any sort of, hostility that might arise between workers because, some people might not get their coworkers a gift, and they might get some of their coworkers a gift, but not others, and then people will feel resentful, and then there'll be a lot of hostility. So they do like the Secret Santa thing, which is kind of like that, where everybody brings in a gift. It can't exceed a certain amount, and then it's anonymous. Like the gifts just get distributed, sort of anonymously, and then everybody gets something, but nobody knows who it's from, and there's no and everybody gets the same, basically a similar, at least. In terms of value, it's a similar gift. So Lois was asking, is it like an art form? Is gift giving? I do believe that. I really appreciate. Yes, I think some people really have a knack for finding truly wonderful and unique Gifts, yes. I don't know if you're good at, Lois. I'm terrible at buying gifts. I never know what to get people. But some people are like excellent. My sister is really, really good at buying gifts. I mean, I totally resent her because, she thinks she's smarter than me because she got an art book when she was 14 and I was 12. But she's an excellent gift giver. She gives really excellent gifts. Like she gave me these glasses with the bee on them that Lois, I showed you that last night. Lois was hanging out with us last night. So she just has a knack for finding like not only unique gifts, but also gifts that are like particular to your, needs. So something you would never think of buying yourself, but it's something that you like because she takes into account who you are, and I think that
Well, so I'm not sure if it's an art.
some people have a knack for that. I don't know who they are, but
I agree. Talent.
or how they.
To me, it's more psychology thing. If you're
Yeah.
good at psychology, then you will be better at giving gifts because you understand what can hurt somebody, what can what I mean. It's what can enjoy it. You know what I mean. You're understanding. That's to me that's psychology. That's more like science or whatever psychology is. It's not science.
Oh well, that's another let's have words all together right there. But yes, psychology is science. But let's not.
Is it? Is it?
Sure.
I never.
It's a science. Yeah.
Okay, engineers didn't look at psychology.
People. Oh my God, that's a whole other discussion.
Medicine is partially science.
It's a field that uses they use the scientific method to come to conclusions, more or less. Okay, but that's opening a whole can of worms. I know not everybody feels that way. Let's table that discussion. That's a whole show. Okay, it's a whole show.
It's make believe science. For me, it's make believe science, but let's not go there. But no,
I think there's a lot of pseudoscience happening in the world of psychology, but I think that the true field itself, people they use the scientific method, they use controlled experiments and things like that to the extent that they can. Yeah.
I understand. Anyway, as far as I think it's whoever's better at, psychology, then they can do better gifting. That's all I was going to say.
Oh yeah, no, I think you're right, but also I think it's a matter of paying attention too.
Well,
I think some people are better at paying attention
Mm-hmm.
to people's likes, to people's preferences.
Well, to understand the other person.
Yeah.
That's why I just called it psychology, but yes, of course.
Yeah. I think it's almost an intention thing. So if you were going to buy me a gift, Conrad, what do you think I would like? Jewelry, clothes, food, toolbox. What do you think?
I tried food a few times, and you cursed me with my Polish.
I cursed you. I know, because I hate when people give me sweets. No offense, Lois, if you're still listening. It's okay that you bought the brownies. Don't panic. Mark's enjoying them. I love sweets. I actually love them, but the problem is that, especially right now, I'm trying to. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm always trying to lose weight, so I'm always trying to avoid them. Every day is a gift. Lois asked what would be a good gift. Life is a gift. I think people need to be kind to each other every day. That's what I think people need to think about doing more often. I think that's a gift. People are, there's a lot of, I go through my whole day without hearing a kind word from anybody or saying a kind word to anybody. Our society is set up in such a way that there's a lot of it's a harsh world, man. It's a harsh world out there. And I think people need to be kind to each other. I think that's the most important gift of all.
It's less harsh than it was decades ago, what I remember when I was young.
You think so? I don't know. I think it's a harsh friggin' world.
People are much, no comparison. No comparison 40 years ago.
Yeah, you think so? Maybe.
It was much harsher.
I have a great respect and memory. I'm not going to give you any gifts of material nature. Thank you, Lois. Except brownies. Brownies are delicious. I love brownies.
About a gift that I think you would like most.
Yes. What would you give me if you had to give me a gift?
A live animal.
A live animal? You can give me a spider. Give me an arachnid.
No, because
Yeah.
bugs are not animals, but they are plants.
What? Yes, they are, and they're not plants. They're not fungus.
They are close.
They're not bacteria.
They are
No, they're
close.
animals,
They are close.
Conrad.
They are close.
No, they're not close. They're classified as animals. Trust me on that one. But anyway, yes. So a live animal. Well, that's not a good gift though, because you never know what if a person's in a position to take care of a live animal.
Well, you already have a
Like if
couple.
you gave me a pot-bellied pig, I don't know that I could take care of a pot-bellied pig right now.
Well, you have to be reasonable. A cow will not fit in a house. I understand. But a reasonable.
Plants are a good gift most of the time.
Excuse me?
Plants. People give me plants for gifts. I like plants. That's a nice gift. It's biodegradable. It's a living thing. It's not difficult to take care of. I just add it to my plant collection. Plants are a good gift. So anyway, I was asking you what you would get for me, and you're being serious that you would give me a live animal,
Well,
like a
that's-
chicken or what? What would you give me?
That seems.
Would you give me an armadillo? What would you give me?
I haven't thought about anything.
An elephant, giraffe,
But
a tiger, a whale, chinchilla. What would you give me? Reptile? Would you give me like a
something different.
snake?
Something different.
Gift certificates always. I agree, Catherine. That's what I was saying. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I was lauding the advantages of the gift card or gift certificate. It's a nice thing. It's very. I'm sorry, but the gift card, gift certificate kind of world has made gift giving so much easier for those of us who go into a panic anytime we have to think about buying somebody a gift. A paper journal, and Conrad a nice big ashtray. So that's a good. See, Lois, you're one of those people. You're very thoughtful. You're very thoughtful. See, she came up with some good gifts for us, Conrad. I wouldn't know what to buy. See, I'd want to get you a book, but you don't read anymore. You said. Like you got all those books behind you, and I wouldn't know what you've already read or anything, so that wouldn't be good. I don't know. I don't know what I would buy. I'd buy you a new sweater, maybe.
I have a.
I'd buy you an ashtray is an excellent gift. See, Lois is one of those people. She knows what to get people. She knows what they would like.
Well, it would be certainly a usable gift, practical.
A practical. Well, not just practical though. Like she could get you like an ashtray, which was not just practical. It was practical, but she could also get you a really fancy ashtray, like something that she could buy at, say, the Greenville Junction Shopping in Greenville, New Hampshire. And it could be like a fancy ashtray, like something that you would never buy for yourself, so that it would have both components of practicality and also
No, I understand. No,
frivolity at the same time.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
You know what I mean? And that I think that's what makes a good gift in some ways. Like it has an element, the person is going to use it, but at
Right.
the same time, it's not something they would buy for themselves necessarily.
I agree.
Like
Something different.
yeah, something different
Yeah, I
that
totally
has a
agree.
little bit of flair, something
Totally
special.
agree. I totally agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree.
But I don't know. I don't know. I'm terrible at buying gifts. One year I bought somebody a pair of scissors. That's all I could think of. That was before I knew about the gift card. It's a terrible gift. Why would you buy somebody scissors? I couldn't think of anything.
I have few comments because you don't like their haircuts.
Yeah, that could be it. Maybe it was maybe I didn't even right. Maybe it was like deep seated, I didn't even realize that there were some like motivations for me
But
buying the
if
scissors.
somebody gives me a
was
gift like
unaware of.
that,
It's a
shaving.
subconscious kind of thing.
If somebody gives me a gift like that, it's like, okay, there's like shaving material. It's like,
Yeah, it's
oh,
completely impersonal. It like has there's nothing special about it or
just like with clothing, because you dress inappropriately, this is the appropriate clothes.
Yeah, but the scissors didn't have any, like, I mean, you're joking that about, I just thought that they might need a pair of scissors. I don't know. It wasn't like there was anything evil about it. It was just a stupid gift. It was nothing, there was nothing special. It didn't have there was nothing special about it. And it was just a dumb gift. It was a meaningless gift. It didn't have any.
So if you want to talk about gifts, what I remember from the gold, because the gift giving used to be more traditional a long time ago. Seriously, you would give something that's perishable, meaning like a wallet for a man, or not a purse because that's dressy, but a wallet because they wear out. You're always going to need a new one sooner or later. Woman and a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you might buy somebody a wallet they didn't like, or I don't know.
Well, and you buy you buy something that's pretty good, and there's a good chance to like it. So these were the sort of the generic gifts, but it became like numb. You know what I mean? You accumulate these things. You end up over a few years. You have 10 wallets. What the hell am I going to do with it now? Well, because it was like
or necktie or ties or something like that. Right?
It was some generic stuff that's utility. Not dressy, because you may not want to, I don't wear red, I don't wear black, you know what I mean? Not something like that, but something that's, you just say utility, like scissors, except not quiet. The scissors, that's a knife. You can stab somebody with scissors.
Well, that's generally not what you use them for. Although I guess they could be used, but that's only in a desperate situation when they're your only weapon available. When they're the only weapon available.
I'm just saying.
Lois said that scissors are a cutting edge gift. See, wasn't so bad. This is it. I've had a history. I've had this history of just giving bad gifts and being embarrassed around gifts, and that's it. It's my whole relationship with the whole gift giving world is a very. Is terror and anxiety.
I think years ago I gave my grandfather as a gift, as you guys I think call it straight edge. When you shave yourself.
Razors, a straight edge razor, yeah.
Like a knife, he would sharpen it with a belt.
Yeah.
He had a big
scary stuff. Yeah.
He had a big black belt. He would sharpen it every time, and then he would rub himself. This is going back hundreds of years. And I think and they do wear out, because the metal does wear out after a while. So I think I might have bought him one when I was a little bit older.
Yeah.
Because again, it's one of those it wears out like a wallet. It wears out after a while.
Right.
But now you buy somebody a straight edge, and it's like, that would be weird.
That would be weird now, right? I mean, it wasn't weird then, but it would be weird now. Yeah. Well, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the gift of the Magi, the most wonderful story about gifting that there is. But we have run out of time here on this wonderful show called Let's Have Words, where we sit around and shoot the breeze about stuff. And we got some great comments. We had people chiming in with their opinions about gifting and giving gifts and receiving as well, giving and receiving. And I'm going to say it again, just to be corny, that every day, in my opinion, is a holiday, and life itself is a gift. And I think kindness and empathy and love, those things, these are the gifts. These are really the true gifts. Sorry, that's it. I'm done being corny. That's the end of it. But I really mean it. I do. I mean it. All right. So we're celebrating number 10, aren't we? Is this number 10? Let's Have Words. I don't know. I think it's number 10. I've lost count. We've done so many, I've lost count. But I think this is our 10th show, which is an exciting milestone. What we do here on Let's Have Words is we just shoot the breeze. We celebrate the art of conversation, and you never know what you're going to hear or what you're going to get, and we like you to participate. But what we prefer to do on Let's Have Words actually is have guests on the show that we can interview. And although we do appreciate having Conrad on, he's a frequent caller, a frequent participant, and we appreciate him for sure. But we also like to have guests on the show where we can have a little interview. And if you have a topic, if you would like to be on Let's Have Words, we would love to have you. Please write to us at wwhrmedia@gmail.com and just send us the topic that you'd like to discuss and a little bit about yourself, and we will definitely entertain the possibility of having you on. And thank you guys so much for listening. It was a great show, and we'll see you next week. And in the meantime, please keep your lines of communication open.